welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about one of the core ingredients that goes into the narcissistic pie, and it's the fact that they can't attach or detach to anybody. They really can't. Fundamentally, they cannot attach or detach. So I'll talk about today what that means. So narcissists, to have a relationship with them that is lasting, loving, healthy, abundant, it's not possible. It is literally impossible. Even if you go on to channels of people who are basically counseling narcissists, the therapists, many of them will just tell you, I have never, ever seen a narcissist change in any meaningful way. And they'll also tell you, I've never seen a narcissistic relationship work out and be a loving, lasting relationship. So when I say that it never happens, I do mean that it never happens. That doesn't mean that narcissists don't have long-lasting relationships. It's just that they're absolutely crummy. And for the person they're with, it means that either that person is also some sort of toxic individual who's doing all the same things back to the narcissist, or that person is a punching bag, a doormat who just puts up with the toxic behavior and doesn't know how to get out because they're probably trauma bonded and the narcissistic spell. So they can have long-lasting relationships, but they always have a whole smorgasbord of things they're doing on the side, such as cheating, triangulating, texting to other people, talking to other people, finding all sorts of other what they call supply outside of the person they're with. But generally, these relationships are fleeting. Generally, they don't last very long. And there's reasons for that. The biggest one is they cannot attach and detach. So narcissists are very, very deeply insecure. They're insecure to their core, and they blow that onto you. Everything that they do is really built out of this deep-seated insecurity, which is also, ironically, sort of a hatred for themselves. They think they're low value, but they project differently. They know that they resonate in the low realms, the low reaches of the earth, but they project differently. They act more grandiose. That's why they do all of these things. They're so deeply insecure and they hate who they are. So the mask is that thing that they've concocted to put on their face and to convince other people completely differently. And to convince themselves, I do have value. I really am high value. I really am worth it. Now they would be if not for the fact that they treat people so horribly. So, in other words, they're insecure. They're also insatiable. There's absolutely not a thing on earth that can ever be done to satisfy the narcissist. No person is good enough. No house is good enough. No place to live, location-wise, geographically. Nothing ever is good enough for them. And they lose interest very, very, very quickly. They're insatiable to their core. And that's why they need new shiny toys, and why they have to move on from relationship to relationship. And even if they have a fixture, steady relationship, that's why they will always be working on backup supply. Always, in all cases. So they're insatiable, they're insecure, and they just can't trust. Narcissists are, by definition, untrusting. If you say that you know a narcissist who can trust people, they're not a narcissist. To me, it's like saying there's a narcissist who doesn't cheat. They're not a narcissist. There's a narcissist who is actually very self-fulfilled. They're not insecure. It's not a narcissist. There are certain things that just naturally fit them, and you can't have one without the other. They can't trust anyone. They cannot trust anyone to save their lives, and everything that they do, accusatory. Everything they do to you, accuse you of cheating, accuse you of stealing, accuse you of being whatever they accuse you of, they're projecting it because they are guilty of that. If they go through your phone, it's because they know they're doing things on their phone. If they think you're cheating, it's because they're cheating. If they think you're a liar, it's because they're a liar. I mean, literally, that's how this thing works. Once you understand, I keep saying this, but once you understand the narcissist and how they operate, they're really simple to figure out from that point on. Once you identify their set traits and their behaviors and you understand everything is a matter of projection, then you instantly know, okay, if they say it about me, they're doing it. And that's 99% of the time. So they're insecure, they're insatiable, they're untrusting. But the biggest reason why you'll never have a stable, healthy relationship is that they can't attach or detach. So when they met you, they masqueraded as an angel of light. Whether they were a friend, a romantic interest, whatever they were, they masqueraded as an angel of light. And they glommed onto you and convinced you and tricked you. They're con artists. They convinced you that they're something that they're not. That's what they did the entire time, pardon me, in order to get your attention, in order to convince you that they're someone that they're not. So they faked it till they made it, basically. So the heart of it is, they're not only are they insatiable, untrusting, insecure, all the things I mentioned, they put on this mask when they met you so that when they attached to you, you thought you were entering a stable, healthy relationship. You weren't. They cannot form the basis through those things I'm mentioning. Because of their insecurity, untrusting nature, insatiability, they can't healthily attach. It's not a right word. I'm thinking stealthily. They cannot attach in a healthy way to anybody. Can't be done. So this is why oftentimes when you're with a narcissist, they will bring up people from the past. This is why they'll talk about an ex. This is why a certain person might come up very frequently in their discussions. Who knows? You might be that person that they're saying those things about now. I'll get to that a little bit later. But they didn't attach to you the right way. They can't form a bond. They talk about pair bonding a lot. And how a major problem with people who, say for instance, have a lot of sexual partners is that they can no longer pair bond. Biologically, mentally, they've just fried that part of themselves that can attach in a healthy way to another individual. Well, narcissists are all that way. They cannot attach in a healthy way. They've never known how. It's never developed in them. And truly, the spiritual disorder prevents them from doing it. So, when you are with them, that's why they frequently bring up other people. And that's why they frequently triangulate you. They were never all in on the relationship. Never at any point. And that's why, and you can feel this. It's tangible when you're with these people. Everybody who's been with a narcissist, including myself, attests to the same thing. You never feel like they're invested in the relationship. It's always almost like, the best I can describe it, you could say 1 foot in, 1 foot out, but it's almost like they're bringing you in for a hug with one arm and pushing you away at the same time with the other arm. I want you close, but not too close. I want you here, but there. They're never all in. They're never all in. And part of that's because, yeah, they always have people in the background, and so you never are the only one, but mainly they didn't attach to you. They didn't attach to, they can't do it. They can't do it in a healthy way. Well, keep this in mind, because when the relationship ends, and it will end, even if you're stuck with them for 30 years and you're caught in the trauma bond, your relationship's effectively over because they're out of it. They're checked out. They're with other people. Behind your back, they're with other people. But when the relationship ends, if you actually do get discarded or you discard them and you move on, you'll find that oftentimes they don't ever really leave your life. Or at least you have to be the one who makes sure that they cannot be there anymore, because they won't do it. Even if they walk away from the relationship, they'll be back. But even if you block them and you go no contact and you get away, they're going to keep up on you and keep tabs for probably the rest of your life, at least for many, many years to come. I've heard of narcissists hoovering. That's when they come back in and after some period of time and they try to get you back into their lives. I've heard of them doing that after 15, 20, 25 years for people. One of my good friends has had that experience. I think it's been 17 years, and his ex-wife came back out of nowhere, a narcissist. So this is what they do. And the reason they do these things is that they can't detach. They never formed a healthy attachment to you, but they also can't form a healthy detachment from you. Narcissists do this. All cluster B people do this, including someone like a borderline personality disorder. They have serious abandonment issues, serious insecurity. That's both of these, borderline and narcissist. And because of that, these things, they cannot attach or detach. That's why they'll so often come back into your life. That's why they have to have so many different people as well, because they're always protecting themselves. All of life is a game to the narcissist, but it's also a game of protect me. Protect me at all times. It's why they won't get too close. It's why they won't let you too close. That's why they always have multiple people going on. It's just this ongoing attempt to make sure that they're never alone, they're never abandoned, and they've taken care of me. They've looked out for number one in all instances. And a narcissist will look out for themselves exclusively. If they ever look out for you, it's only because it's benefiting them somehow. It's never selfless, ever. So the narcissist will come back and hoover because they didn't detach. They'll stalk you on social media. Even if they've blocked you, they'll use other accounts to probably watch you. They'll keep track of where you live, where you've moved, have you got a new vehicle, do you have a new job, and boy oh boy, you better believe they're watching to see if you have a new romantic interest in your life. That's fascinating to them. Because in some weird, twisted, warped way, because of the detachment problems, they come to believe they own you. They own whoever they're with. And they think back on history of their relationships, and they think they own those people. It's very, very, very messed up. I hope you're seeing in these videos, and there are lots of people who have narcissistic YouTube channels and other channels on other platforms, and there's probably something to be gained from all of them. I know I like a few that I watch regularly. But I hope you're seeing how warped and twisted their minds really work. And so much to the point, it's that classic case of they'll discard you, but they don't want anybody else to have you. I don't want you, but nobody else is going to have you either. So if you start to try to get in a romantic relationship with somebody else, whoop, here they come. In some way, they'll try to blow it up sometimes, or they'll just watch, or they'll bide their time, or they'll drop little hints. Maybe you get a note on your front porch, or in the mail. Who knows? An email, if you block them everywhere else. They can't attach, and therefore they can't detach. And here's a really interesting thing. Because of this, basically when you are with a narcissist, you are also with everybody else they've ever dated. Because they are constantly comparing you to everybody from the past, and they're going to compare you to everybody in their future, and then they're going to compare the other people to you, and the other people to the other people, and you get the idea. One of the things that you might hear, and I may or may not have heard, is, I will always compare everyone to you. And you know what? They will. That's a factual statement. They're going to do that, especially if you're a person of high value. I say frequently that the narcissist doesn't always have a person of high value. Far from it. People are disillusioned sometimes to thinking that the narcissist had a person of high value, and they just go from one high value person to the next. That's insane. Does anyone do that? Can you or I do that? Can any person on earth go from high value to high value to high value? No, it doesn't work that way. You know why it doesn't work that way? There's not that many high value people. It's simple. It's simple. Doesn't matter how good looking you are, or rich, or famous, or charismatic, or whatever. There's only so many high value people. Nobody goes from one to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. The narcissist is very fortunate to find one or two in their whole lives that are truly high value people. If you were that to them, then you know it. That's all I can say. Because not everybody is. That's just the reality. It doesn't mean that people are less than, but I'm saying what they bring to the table and how much love and compassion, effort they put forth for the narcissist, how much they gave of themselves, that goes into it. And most people aren't going to do that. Very few of us are willing to do that. So they don't go from one great supply to the next. But if you are that great supply for them, they will always compare everybody to you. That's the truth. And they spend their lives thinking that way. I remember this person. They remember that person. They remember the person they're with. And they are always making comparisons. How smart was that person? How tall? How handsome? How much money did they have? How much did they give? How empathetic were they? This is how they do. They cannot help but do it. So understand, the narcissist can never attach to you. You can never have a healthy relationship with them. It is literally impossible. They also cannot detach from you. Now, if you were very low, if you were the dregs, so to speak, that person who's not kind, who's maybe toxic themselves, who didn't give to a fault, yeah, I don't think they're going to dwell on you for the rest of their lives. Just being honest. And even a wonderful person, they're probably not going to dwell on the rest of their lives, but for a long time, and maybe bits and pieces forever. They will probably look back, in all likelihood, and like I'm saying, say, well, I'm with this person now, how does he compare to Brian? I'm with this person now, how does she compare to Susan? That's what they do. They can't attach or detach. So don't be shocked by the fact that you can't have a healthy relationship. Don't be shocked when they have other people. Don't be shocked when they get rid of you, or shocked when they come back. The only thing you can do with these people, in summary, to conclude this, the only thing you can do is get out of their lives. Because they're not going to be the ones who do that. If they have their way, they're going to keep you pining for them and on the hook for the rest of your life. And they might come back to you 1 month later, or it might be 5 years or 10 years later. They want you right there pining for them. But they can't attach to you, and they can't attach to anybody. And they can't detach from you, and they can't detach from anybody, lest they're probably super low value. It's a very sick and twisted world that they live in. I just want you guys to know, you don't have to be shocked by the fact that it's impossible to have a relationship with them. And I also want to mention one final thing. If you think for 1 second that narcissist that you are thinking of rode off into the sunset with another person, and now they're happy, and now it works, and they have a healthy attachment and a healthy bond, think again. It is fundamentally impossible for that to take place. I'm telling you, it's fundamentally impossible. They're not made that way. Can't happen. The narcissist cannot attach or detach. That's a fact. So guys, I hope this was interesting to you. If it was, consider dropping comments and let me know if this resonates with you at all. If not, I will come back here with a, well, hopefully it did, not if not, but whatever the case, I will be back with another video here shortly. I'm trying to put out roughly 3 a week, something like that. So anyway, if you like them, please enjoy. Please subscribe if you get a chance, if you want to, or comment, or share, or do anything that you might want to do with the video. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll be back here with another one. Till then, God bless.